The day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. Simpleng statement, no? Very simple statement, but it means so much to me, and it has a lot to do with how my mom raised me. She would always say over and over, keep planting the seeds, keep planting the seeds. And she would refer to the seeds as seeds of kindness or seeds of hard work. No matter the season, no matter the reason, just keep planting the seeds. With the freelance work that I do now, there are months when the schools are quiet. The projects that I used to have are now quiet. And the past few weeks, I went through some moments of frustration. There is freedom, and there's a certain freedom when you do consultancy or freelance work, but at the same time, the disadvantage is there's uncertainty, right? When it rains, it pours, and there are also days when you don't know when the next project is gonna be. And the past few weeks, that's how I felt. Um, been working really hard, but the opportunities or the projects that I'm used to around this time um, wasn't there. So there are many reactions to situations like that, right? When you don't get what you want, or when something you're used to is not there anymore, or basically a project or a client you're used to working with has decided to let go or has decided to not continue with the collaboration or partnership. So it gets scary. It also provokes anxiety and panic, uh, and self doubt, right? There are many negative feelings that can come out in moments like that. Um, when there is a lull in your work, in your career, the pause is just as important as the play. And sometimes I find that whatever it is I preach, I am also being challenged by God to actually practice it. So the pause is just as important. What is the pause for? What are these moments of dryness or these moments of uncertainty for? It can be a time for rest, right? I know myself. When I work, I give it like more than 100%, and then when the project or that stint is done, I fall apart because of exhaustion. So maybe it's a time for rest, or maybe it's an invitation for improvement, right? Maybe that lull or that dryness or that dullness is also a moment for us to reflect on ourselves. What can I improve on? Um, what can I learn? What new things can I learn? Um, is there something, a weakness within me that I need to pay attention to, right? Or do I have to take new classes or try something else? So that's the second. And then the third is maybe it's time to move on, right? That project, that partnership, that collaboration, whatever, has already served its purpose. So rest, improve, move on. And so this week, I was focusing so much on the lack, that rhythm. There's a certain rhythm, right? I mean, if you are an employee of a company, there's a certain rhythm in your work. I missed that the past few weeks, past few days because of the uncertainty. But then, our God is a wise God, and uh, God is a good provider. He doesn't abandon us. And sometimes that temporary, momentary deprivation is just this way of, it's just this teachable moment, right? It's this time for us to recalibrate, or as I said, rest, improve, or move on. So this week, I noticed, as soon as I said, Lord, bahala ka na. Basta, I'm going to keep planting the seeds of hard work. Um, Most of my work has to do with preparing programs and modules and basically program preparation. So I said, okay, let's just prepare in advance. We never know, right? Just when you say, sige Lord, bahala ka na, but I'll do my share, what I can for now. I was surprised. I received calls from people I've never expected to hear from. New partnerships, new opportunities. Though, I'm not really big on advertising, or I'm not really big on marketing. I'm just surprised how the seeds that we've been planting, or how the seeds we planted in the past somehow bear fruit years, months, years after the fact, right? And sometimes you wonder, how did this person get in touch with me? How did the lines of connections, you know, suddenly appear out of nowhere? And when you trace it back, you look at the person and you go, he or she's not a stranger. I met this person through so and so. You itutuhugin mo no? Kakabit-kabitin mo. You're going to make connections, right? And you realize, wow, had I not met this person, have I not taken this class, or have I not, I don't know, appeared in this workshop, right? I wouldn't have met this person, and he or she would not be contacting me today. And so I realized how true that message was, no? The message is that the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. So maybe these surprises that happened to me is not just by accident. If you really reflect and look back, you'll realize that connection, or that opportunity, that invitation, we've been preparing for, working hard for, and also through God's grace, diba? For a long, long time now. Maybe it wasn't just for us at that moment, or we weren't mature enough yet, or as I said, maybe the fruit was not yet ripe for the picking. But when the moment comes, especially when you least expect, but at the same time working hard, preparing for it. And I'm talking about career here. Maybe not so much relationships in this little talk, but more of career and opportunities. When it comes, tayo mismo magugulat. We're the ones who get surprised. Wow, me? You want me to work with you? Wow, that's wonderful. On the other hand, we also should not take for granted the many seeds that we've actually already been harvesting. Sometimes we take that for granted because we're so focused on the seeds that have yet to be harvested, or that have yet to be ripened, right? So we're so focused on the frustration and the possibilities that, the emails or the text messages that you're waiting, um, the reply that you're waiting for. We're sometimes so fixated on that. But at this very moment, sometimes we forget, oh nga, no? No, just yesterday, or just the other day, um, I was given this opportunity, or new opportunities opened, or um, these are things that we miss out on sometimes. The seeds that have been harvested already, you know, and the invitation to again be mindfully grateful of what has already been received, and very, very grateful for this momentary pause. Kasi naman, when it gets busy naman, di ba? We also complain. So, oo naman si Lord. Parang dumb if he does, and dumb if he doesn't, right? When there is abundance, we complain, and when there is a momentary pause, we also complain. Just like yesterday, I went to Green Hills and I did a little bit of shopping because my clothes are getting kind of old. And then I went to one of the Changge, one of the flea markets, right? And when you go through the halls, or the the passageways, or the alleys of Green Hills, I'm sure you've experienced this. Ang dami-dami mga tindera na ang kulit-kulit. They would say, "Ma'am, pwede po i-fit. Ma'am, meron po kaming sizes. Ma'am, may sale po kami," etc., etc. Right? It gets so annoying that you haven't even entered the shop. They're already bombarding you with, uh, unnecessary reminders and hard selling, basically. And then, on the other hand, yesterday I chanced upon this store. The lady was just texting. The sales lady there was just texting the whole time. I'm like, may bala ka ba magbenta? Gusto mo bang kumita ngayon, ate? 'Di ba? I was asking her if they had sizes, if she had anything to recommend for me. She was basically very busy on her phone. So, same with career, same with life. When we have too much of something or too little of something, we complain. And then there's that middle ground, you know, where you're given that momentary pause. And that, I guess, that momentary pause is I think it's also God's way of reminding us, hey, don't forget me. I've given you all these, and you've been so busy, and work is taking my place. So, pause muna, 'di ba? And that pause doesn't mean He has abandoned us or He has forgotten us. But it's just that momentary, respite for us to rest, improve, move on. And then when it's time for harvest time, we ourselves will find ourselves overwhelmed with joy. Lord, thank you. Um, and I look back and I go, oh, okay. I have many oo nga no moments, di ba? For me, harvest time is like an oo nga no, or in English, aha moment. You look back and you go, how did this all happen? How did I get here? And then you look back and you go, okay. Oo nga no. Oh yeah, no wonder it had to happen. Or no wonder I met this person or I had to go through that. So the seed that I planted many years ago, this is now the fruit that I am harvesting and enjoying.